The countdown is officially on, and the brutal reality of cutdown day is staring us right in the face. We are looking at one of the most stacked, highly anticipated locker rooms in franchise history, meaning some absolute fan favorites are about to get kicked to the curb. From a shocking quarterback developmental plan to massive shifts in the trenches, this is the ultimate, no-holds-barred 53-man roster projection you absolutely need to hear before Week 1. If you want to survive this wild offseason with the best updates on the planet, hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe to the channel right now. Let's kick things off with the most critical position in all of sports, the quarterbacks. We are rolling into the season with the exact same structure as last year, and honestly, I am thrilled about it. Caleb Williams is the unquestioned commander of this offense, ready to set the league on fire. Backing him up, we have the grit of Tyson Bagent and the veteran savvy of Case Keenum. Those are your three guys on the active roster. But here is where it gets incredibly interesting. I actually have Miller Moss making the practice squad. I know, last year they didn't keep a signal caller on the practice squad because when you carry 3 on the active 53, you usually don't have to. But let's be real for a second. Keenum is getting up there in age, and Bagent is turning into a very attractive trade piece for the future. Keeping a developmental talent like Moss stashed behind the scenes just makes too much sense right now. Are we looking at the most secure and forward-thinking quarterback room we have literally ever had, or am I just getting totally lost in the summer hype? Moving right along to the backfield, and this is where the anxiety starts to creep in. We had 0 draft picks and 0 free agent splashes at running back this offseason. It is a terrifying gamble. So, by default, your main guys are DeAndre Swift, Kyle Manangai, and for the moment, Roscoe Johnson. Now, could that change? Absolutely. Guys like Britton Brown, Coleman Bennett, and Deion Hankins are going to scratch and claw in training camp to steal that third spot. I personally love Britton Brown as a pure runner, maybe even more than Roscoe, but you have to remember the golden rule of the NFL. Your RB3 has to be a special teams demon. He needs versatility. Because of Roscoe's injury history, it honestly wouldn't shock me at all if the front office panicked and grabbed a veteran scat back off the street to fill that role. Question of the day: who is your definitive lock for the RB3 spot right now, and are you pounding the table for a veteran free agent addition before opening day? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments immediately. Out wide, the receiving core is looking absolutely lethal, and I have 6 guys making the final cut. Rome Odunze, Luther Burden, Khalif Raymond, Tez Walker, and Xavion Thomas are all absolute locks barring some catastrophic surprise. Those 5 are your core. For that coveted 6th spot, I have J.P. Richardson penciled in right now. I know they are bringing Scotty Miller in for a tryout, and it makes total sense to look at a veteran who can return kicks and play special teams. Richardson brings that exact same stylistic flavor and returnability, so he gets the nod for now. If he falters, he hits the practice squad, which means someone like Amare Kelly or Squirrel White gets pushed out entirely. Right now, I have Kelly and White safely on the practice squad, surviving the bubble over Maurice Alexander. Down in the trenches at tight end, I am only keeping 3 on the active roster. Colston Loveland, Cole Kmet, and Sam Roush are your guys. I know there is heavy speculation that we are going to run a ton of heavy, 13 personnel packages this year, which might make you think we need a 4th active tight end. But look at how they operated last season. They constantly utilized game day elevations from the practice squad, cycling guys up to 3 times without burning a roster spot. So Hayden Large, the undrafted free agent who showed flashes, and Nikola Kalinick, who was active for the playoff run, are going to be our 2 practice squad tight ends. Now take a deep breath, because the offensive line is where dreams are made and shattered. I am projecting 9 guys on the active roster, but we have to start with the heartbreak. Ozzy Trapilo is going straight to the PUP list or short-term injured reserve. We all know he is not going to be ready for Week 1, and that hurts. Looking at the projected starters, Braxton Jones has to go out and earn that left tackle job, but beside him, you have the absolute brick walls of Joe Thuney, Garrett Bradbury, Jonah Jackson, and Darnell Wright. Logan Jones is definitely making the squad, possibly even pushing Bradbury. Theo Benedict is a firm lock in my eyes. Jordan McFadden and Luke Newman round out the active group. But here is the wild card. I have Jedrick Wills stashed on the practice squad. Yes, you heard me. He could literally win the starting left tackle job in camp, or he could completely wash out and not make the active team at all. The margins are that razor thin. Caden Barnett, the vanilla gorilla, sticks around on the practice squad, but I am officially projecting that Kieran Amagaji gets cut. I just don't see him sticking around in this crowded room. Flipping over to the defensive line, and folks, we need to talk about the sheer violence this group is going to bring. Montez Sweat, Jervin Dexter Sr., Grady Jarrett, and Austin Booker are your terrifying starters. Now Deo Odiingbo and Shamar Turner are massive question marks. They could easily start the season on the PUP list depending on their recovery timelines, but I am keeping them on the active roster for now until OTAs prove otherwise. Neville Gallimore makes the team after signing that 2-year deal. I am taking Kentavious Street over James Lynch simply because the front office targeted Street earlier in the offseason. Jordan Vandenberg, the kid they traded up for in the 6th round, makes the cut, and Daniel Hardy sneaks in purely for his special teams value. That is 10 guys in total. On the practice squad I have Jaden Loving, who secured a massive undrafted bag, alongside Jamari Chroma, who gets the nod over Jonathan Garvin. But let's be brutally honest for a second. Do you think this pass rush is actually deep enough to survive the division as it stands right now? Because with monsters like Cam Jordan, Jadeveon Clowney, and Joey Bosa still floating out there in the ether, a massive chunk of this fanbase is begging the front office to go all in and sign another game wrecker. At linebacker, the debates have been keeping me awake at night, but I am officially keeping 6. Devin Bush, TJ Edwards, and DeMarco Jackson are your top 3 studs. Keyshawn Elliott, the 5th-round steal, is an absolute lock. It really comes down to Jack Sanborn and Ruben Hippolyte too for those final depth spots. If they only keep 5, one of those 2 fan favorites is getting a devastating phone call. For now, I am taking both. The tragic news here is Noah Sewell. After tearing his Achilles late last year, there is 0 chance he is ready for Week 1, so he goes straight to the PUP list. His brother, Nephi Sewell, will comfortably hold down a spot on the practice squad. The secondary is where the battles are going to be pure box office. I am keeping 6 cornerbacks. Jalen Johnson, Tariq Stevenson, and Kyler Gordon are your elite starters, though Malik Muhammad is going to push Stevenson to the absolute limit. Josh Blackwell stays strictly for his special teams brilliance. Then we have Terrell Smith. I don't think he perfectly fits the new defensive scheme, but the guy just balls out when he is on the field. He beat out Safe Frazier in my projection, and this is controversial. Frazier was drafted by this exact coaching staff, but he missed all of last season dealing with a personal mental health issue. We are all rooting for him, but he has to come out and physically rip that job away from Terrell Smith. Frazier and Jalen Jones are my brutal cuts here, getting banished to the practice squad. Finally, wrapping up with the safeties and specialists. Kobe Bryant, Dylan Thieneman, Elijah Hicks, and Cam Lewis are the 4 safeties, with Lewis providing massive value because he can slide down and play nickel. Skylar Thomas, the undrafted rookie out of Oregon State, will be waiting in the wings on the practice squad for emergency elevations. For the specialists, the legendary Cairo Santos and Torrey Taylor are locked in. There is a brewing long snapper battle, but I am giving the edge to Luke Elkin, simply because he snapped for Torrey Taylor back at Iowa, and that built-in chemistry is too valuable to ignore. This roster is an absolute juggernaut, but the looming cuts are going to be agonizing. The practice squad is loaded with talent, and the front office still has a couple of open spots to play with as rookie minicamp approaches. Things are going to change, pass rushers might be signed, and hearts will be broken. Let me know exactly what you think of this projection, tell me who I disrespected, and I will see you all in the next update.